All right, guys, welcome to the Week 14 weekly recap. So that was the end of the regular season. We're now heading to the playoffs, but before I get to that, let me just go over how the games went. Let's see, me and Chris. Yeah, he won. Not shocked. I had the lowest points for. He had the highest points for. No big deal. Expected it. Jake, Jake and Jay. Man, poor Cody. If I'm looking at the standings correctly, right? Cody was Cody missed playoffs just because of that, because Jay couldn't pull out a win. So I know Cody's pissed. But, I mean, they had a close one. 87-71, kind of. It wasn't really a good game. I mean, Jake's team kind of sucked. So did Jay's. Jay sucked more, but Lamar Jackson's like the only reason he won that. So if Cody should be banned to anyone, it should be Lamar Jackson. Cody, even though he gave such a good effort with a 144-point win against Harry, he will not be going to the playoffs this year. I mean, Hurts only had 8. Cody's team fucking went off, too. He wanted playoffs. 21 from the Saints, 22 James Cook, 24 Njoku, 17 Flowers. Oh my god, Eckler 18. Dude, Harry didn't even have like a bad week, but that was Cody murdered him. All for nothing too. Carl lost to Tim, but Tim did not make playoffs. Tim one game away. But maybe Carl was just on a bye week. Maybe he gave his guys some rest. I mean, you're starting Josh Dobbs. Why were you starting Josh Dobbs? Oh, Kyler was on a bye. Yeah, I mean, Carl kind of got his ass kicked, and he didn't even really need the win. He's still in the playoffs. Tim, you can say you own Carl as your team name, but he's in the playoffs and you're not, so might want to change that. Mike kicked Sean's butt, preventing Sean from making the playoffs. I don't know how the points for would have worked out, but yeah, crushed Sean's dreams. Mike, whose team sucked all year, decided to have a very good game this week. 16 Javonte, 21 Hopkins, 27 Ingram. Dude, I was watching the game with Sean, and Ingram just kept going off, and I was cracking up as Sean was getting pissed. Let's see, and the last game, sadly, James James got his butt kicked once again. I think, that's actually the reason Owen made playoffs, is because James couldn't pull out a win. Owen got the win. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. James, you put up a good fight, 95. Not too shabby. Would have beat like half the league this week. But all right, let's look at those final standings. In last place, and who's going to get the horseshit participation trophy for a second year in a row, is James, with a record of 2-12. Had more points for than the two guys ahead of you. So that's just unfortunate. But James, by far, has the most points against. He's at 1,700. No one's even at 1,600. Like, that's unfortunate for James. I feel bad for him. 11th place was me with 5-9. Did I have the least amount of points? No, I don't have the least amount of points against. but I have the least amount of points for. By a lot. I don't know how I got 5 wins. But, I mean, I'm not 12th. I'm not wearing the Speedo, so everything's okay. Then Mike, with a record of 6-8, had the second lowest points for. Makes sense. Followed by, who is this? Sean, 6-8 record. He was 9th place. Yeah. 8th place is Tim. And wrapping up the people who did not make playoffs, Cody in 7th. The only 7-7 team to not make playoffs, Cody. Missed it by 18 points for. That hurts. That really hurts. That's like 1 or 2 management decisions earlier in the year. Like if you benched a guy who did really good, that cost him the playoffs, but oh well. Now going into the playoffs, the number 6 team, Carl, don't even have that many points for, so that's probably going to be an easy win, especially when Jefferson just got hurt again. Another 7-7 team, Owen in 5th. 7-7 Jake in 4th. 9-5 Jay in number 3. That shocks me. I thought Jay's team, I think I ranked Jay like the best team in the offseason. So I'm not that shocked, but like, his team was so hit or miss. It was crazy. Number 2 is Harry. I want him to lose so bad. I don't want him to win. Anyone else in that top 6 can win. Just don't let it be Harry. He's going to be the only one who's like really annoying about it. And lastly, Chris, the number 1 seed. Most points for by far. If I had to guess, Chris is gonna win. But let's just look at the playoffs. So Chris and Harry both have byes. And first playoff matchups are going to be Jake and Owen. And then Jay and Carl. Now, Carl can get lucky and catch Jay on one of his off weeks where his team just puts up dog shit numbers. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Carl's team is not strong enough to get this win. I'm giving it to Jay. And then, so that means Jay's going to end up playing Harry in week 2 of the playoffs. And then Jake versus Owen, that's a close one. But I'm giving it to Owen. I think Owen's team is consistently more stronger. They're both 7-7. Gonna give that one to Owen. So Owen's gonna end up playing Chris. And yeah, that's how I see these playoffs going. I'll go one step further. I think Jay's gonna beat Harry. I don't think Harry's gonna get a playoff win. And I think Chris is going to beat Owen, and then Chris is going to beat Jay. So I think it's going to be Jay and Chris in the finals. Chris is going to win. That's how the playoffs are going to go. But all right, this video's gone long enough. I'll do small recap videos. I'm not recapping anyone in the consolation games. But yeah, so to everyone out of the playoffs, it was a fun season. Everyone in it, good luck. And you might hear from me next week.